Hey, my name is PolishLynx. Welcome to ChuSingura46+1 S, and yes, as you can hear, Ronin are selling their furniture. Don't you even plan to interfere here?
その者たちがアコウの老頭かどうかは不明だが、一応屋敷の警備は強化しておいてくれ。
でも大丈夫ですよ。アコウの残党なんてあっちが皆殺しにしちゃう
もん。Nope。
いや、それには及ばぬ。新八、もしアコウの浪人どもがキラ屋敷に討ち入ったならば、お前は左兵衛様のお命だけ助ければよいからな。
Who the hell is that Sahyoe?
左兵衛様のお命だけ？なぜ左兵衛様のお命だけでいいのですか？
Is that one, you know, that is playing around with Suguha?
決まっておろう。
With the
お前
curse?
は左兵衛様の家臣であって、上野之助殿の家臣ではない。よって、命を賭してお守りするのは左兵衛様のみ。上野之助殿を守る義理もない。そんな顔をしてもダメだ。よいな。これは命令じゃ。新八、無駄死には構えて許さぬぞ。
Chamberlain, that is ready, of course.
すまんな。
Is that a letter from Edo?
いつ私が江戸へ下るかの確認の踏みじゃ。最近毎日のように届くので辟易しているところでな。菅原殿、どうでしたか？母上の様子は。
Yeah, she didn't show it, but I think she's quite worried.
そうですか。
After the Chamberlain ordered the giving back of the pledge at the Maruyama meeting, more than 70 people expressed their withdrawal this time as well. The Edo group, led by Yasube, voiced concern over the fact that there were too many people breaking away, and accused the Chamberlain's wavering decision to be the reason for these people to that withdrew. This is the reason behind all these letters arriving from Edo. The Chamberlain must have known there would be many comrades that would choose withdrawal.
だとしても、達明した方々の理由に情けなくなっているのでしょうね。
Pity?
だって、万一キラを討ち取ることに失敗したら、二度も失敗することになるとか、遊興する母上の噂を聞いて、そんな母上は不運が尽きて勇気がなくなったから、そんな母上に命など預けられないだとか、みんな命が惜しいからと正直な理由を申しません。
That can be helped. They didn't sign that treaty to seek revenge. Once the dream of the Asano family's revival is lost, those people will have nothing to declare to.
無造ですか。まさか、その中に大石家援助も含まれるとは。小山源五左衛門殿、いとこの新藤源四郎殿、大石孫四郎殿、その3人までもが脱命するとは思いませんでした。
These three are your relatives.
はい。おじといとこです。
The Chamberlain must have been unnerved by the fact that her relatives were among the many who broke apart.
ご存知ですか？母上が上方や江戸の方々に送った文にはこう記してあったそうです。大石一家は根性のないものばかりで、残ったのは我ら親子と大石瀬左衛門だけ。
Sezaemon, I heard that name before.
大変面目ないと。 今や大石家の名は地に落ちています。一日も早く母上が江戸に下らなければ、より一層同志の方々の中で不信感が増大します。
But we can't hasten the Chamberlain to go to Edo when the Fushimi Magistrate's office is on a watchout. Even before that, she's been strictly told not to go out of the Imperial Palace vicinity. Ever since the night Chikara had been allowed to join the vendetta, the Chamberlain and Chikara had not said a word to each other. They were steadfast in fulfilling their oath of severing ties of mother and child. So Chikara had her meals in her own room, whereas Chamberlain took hers in the living room. Well, I'm bringing the tea to her because of this agreement. Still, Chikara is worried about the Chamberlain. Don't worry so much. This will all settle down once the Chamberlain arrives at Edo. I've experienced it 2 times already, trust me.
そうなんですよね。それでも私に何かできることがあれば。
Chikara assumes that I've filled her in about everything that happened and will happen. She believes every single word I told her. But there's one thing that I had not told her yet. This one thing concerned the Chamberlain's arrival in Edo. For the past 2 times, the Chamberlain and Chikara had entered Edo separately. Probably because the magistrate's office had been on the lookout, so it would seem odd if they disappeared from Yamashina together. This time, I was secretly making plans on them arriving in Edo together. We still had 3 months until the vendetta. At the same time, Chikara and the Chamberlain only had 3 months as mother and daughter. This is too short a time for them to have some time together. And the Chamberlain declared that she cut ties with Chikara because she will join the vendetta. But I know that those words don't come from the heart. Chikara must have felt that she had many things to learn by her mother's side once she acknowledged her mother's nobility and greatness. I wanted them to have time together for as long as they needed to, so I wanted them to go to Edo together. Even if it's none of my business and even if it's a single trip to death. And the next day, as I was eating breakfast with the Chamberlain, Chikara showed up unexpectedly. Her face was set and I felt kind of bad feeling when I saw her expression.
母上、菅葉殿、おはようございます。
Good morning.
母上、折り入って母上にお願いがあるのですが。なんじゃ？はい。実は江戸下校のことなのですが、江戸には私が先に行くことを許してはいただけませんでしょうか。
Uh-oh. What? Departing first for Edo, she says. Chikara, what on earth are you?
はあ。私とは別々に江戸に下りたいと？はい。
You don't have to go to Edo all of a sudden because the magistrate's office is hiding their surveillance, do you? Well, of course it may seem suspicious if you disappear together, but I think it is better for you two to go together once the magistrate's office loosens their surveillance and... However, I was thrown off by Chikara's sudden request to the Chamberlain. I was surprised and flustered by the fact that the separate departure to Edo of the mother and child was not known to anyone, not even Chikara, and most certainly not the Chamberlain. However, everything seemed to follow the exact path as the history I was familiar with. This will make my little plan all go to waste.
Chikara? どうやら何か特別な理由があるようじゃな。
Special reason? What on earth is a special reason? What other reason do they have besides being suspicious when they disappear together?
No, Chikara? お前、人質になる気じゃな。
What? Chikara, a hostage. What does that mean?
さすが母上。すべてお見通しのようですね。
Chikara?
菅葉殿。今続々と同志の方々が仇討ちのため江戸に下っています。しかし 聞くところによれば、その生活は困窮を極め、その日を暮らすのがやっとという状況とのこと。そんな中、同志の方々は母上の江戸下校を心待ちにしていると思います。
But she said the exact date actually, so yeah, I don't know what they are trying to do.
ですが、こうも奉行所の監視が厳しい中、母上が動くことは難しいですよね。ならば、私が先に江戸に行くことで、同志の方々を安心させられるかと。
なるほど。お前が行けば、私が江戸に来るのも近いと思う。そう思わせるのじゃな。
はい。それと、同志の方々が感じているであろう、大石家の不信感も拭えるかと。ですから、お任せを。
I was dumbfounded while listening to Chikara's words. Maybe the reason behind the separate departures to Edo is... Why did Chikara depart for Edo earlier than her mother? For the past 2 times I hadn't even thought of the reason why she chose to do that. I just thought that she didn't want everyone being suspicious when they disappeared together. I thought it was that small reason. But I was wrong. With the heightening surveillance closing in around the Chamberlain, Chikara came to the conclusion that she was going to Edo alone, and on her own will. The reason was simple: to reassure our comrades residing in Edo, and also to maintain the Chamberlain's dignity. If the leader's daughter came to Edo, the others will think that the Chamberlain will most certainly come to Edo. The effect will be fabulous.
それに、腐っても上代家老の子。こうなることは覚悟ができているみたいじゃん。
力殿が江戸に来たということは、ご城代も近々江戸に下ってくると思っていて良いのだよな。
This reminds me of the previous time and the one before that. I see now. Chikara's arrival in Edo had this kind of meaning behind it. Now it's all clear to me. She was not just joining the vendetta, but as the youngest samurai the Ronin. She was trying to relieve her comrades and at the same time maintain her mother's, the head chamberlain and the leader of this vendetta, dignity and honor. She chose to become a hostage, or rather sacrificed herself and volunteered to depart for Edo. I did not understand anything before this. I've been through this age twice, but I didn't know Chikara's intentions up until now. Oishi Chikara. This girl was a true samurai. She did not appear the least inferior to her fellow samurais.
母上、私のような名役の末席を汚す者が江戸に下ることで、同志の方々が安心するかはわかりません。ですが、母上の許しをいただけるのであれば、私を先に江戸に下らせてください。
好きにしろ。
Chamberlain, can you please reconsider? I'm against her departure to Edo. Let her go to Edo with you, maybe.
本人が先に行きたいと申すなら、止める理由などないじゃろ。それに、そもそも私の許しを得る必要もない。力、お前とは親子の縁を切っているのだ。
ありがとうございます。
Oh. Chamberlain, please wait! Chamberlain!
菅葉殿、いいのですよ。これでいいのです。その代わりに菅葉殿、私の随伴お願いいたします。
Chikara. Uh-oh. Chikara's departure to Edo. For the Akoronians, this was of course big news. Every Akoroni in the country had wind of it as soon as the news spread.
力殿が50代に先んじて江戸に下ってくるですって？
ああ、ご城代から文が届いた。9月の下旬に山科を出て、10月の初旬には江戸にご到着されるようだ。
力殿が江戸に来るということならば、ご城代が来る日も近いというわけですわね。
そうだな。
どうしたのです？せっかくの吉報だというのに表情が冴えませんわね。
いや、そんなことはない。それよりも、 このことを他の同志にも伝えてくれ。
わかりましたわ。
力殿が先に来る。か。まったくご城代め。よくもまあ、このような難題を俺に押し付けてきたものだ。
Hey, have you finished packing yet? I think you already know, but take only what you need all. Right. Again, this weird clothing. I've seen this before.
やはり仇討ちが控えている今、刀の手入れはしておかなければいけませんよね。
I guess so.
ならお任せを。
Hey, can you stop swinging your katana around in the house? Are you trying to kill me?
ああ、すみません。
So, Chikara, about the inn we are going to stay in on the road to Edo.
はい。
What the hell? I haven't seen that before as well. What is going on with your outfit, Chikara?
はい。道中を怪しまれないための変装です。
Are you fooling around?
いえ、至って真面目ですが。
As I couldn't object to Chikara's decision, I started to get ready for our departure to Edo, starting from the next day from her proclamation. Finally, it was the night before our departure to Edo.
どうにか旅の支度ができましたね。
I guess so. Tomorrow, Chikara and I will depart Yamashina for Edo. But the Chamberlain is nowhere to be seen. She seems to not be home yet, having spent last night at the pleasure houses.
旅慣れのせいで、準備には菅葉殿にご迷惑をおかけしました。
I didn't think you would pack so uniquely. That outfit was out of the question for.
やはり、江戸に下るということで、気持ちが高ぶってるのかもしれません。
Hey, is it really alright?
何がです？
Well, going to Edo separately from your mother.
ああ、そのことですか。菅葉殿、随伴の件、了承していただき、ありがとうございます。
You didn't ask for the question. What? Alright. But that doesn't really matter. If you are going to Edo, it will be obvious that I go too. Yeah.
当然ですか。
Well, as I said, that doesn't matter. Don't try to laugh it off. Don't you know what you're getting into? If you arrive at Edo before the Chamberlain, then you won't be able to have enough alone time, don't you see? Of course, I think your plan is courageous and worthy of honor, don't get me wrong. If you go to Edo, I'm sure our comrades will be quite relieved. The dignity of the Oishi family will be maintained for sure. But to make yourself a hostage...
菅葉殿、
What?
過去2度、私は母上と一緒に江戸に下ったのですか？
Well...
ですよね。過去2度も、今回と同じように私は、母上とは別々に下った。ならば、今回も歴史通りということです。
But, well, you had a good relationship with your mother those previous 2 times. I didn't imagine you severing ties.
でも、それは菅葉殿が気づかなかっただけかもしれません。もしかしたら、菅葉殿の知らないところで親子の縁を切っていたのかも。
Yep, probably. What on earth?
菅葉殿、お心遣いかたじけない。菅葉殿は私と母上に最後の時間をくださるため、歴史の事実を黙っていてくれたのですよね。ですが菅葉殿、私は仇討ちに参加する一人の武士であるのと同時に大意識の着手です。 ですから、私が先に行くことで同志の皆様が安心するのであれば、母上の面目が立つのであれば、喜んで人質になります。
Chikara.
さて、明日は出発です。今夜は早く寝るとしましょう。
Alright.
では、スグハ殿、おやすみなさい。
Good night, good night. She left the room to go back to her chambers with a smile on her face. Our last night in Yamashina. Chikara did not show any remorse because her mother was not there for her last night at home. She behaved the same way as always. Were the families of this era all like this? They were related by blood, but could they be this curt and businesslike? They know what awaits them in death is death, but they still choose to honor their promise of severing ties. I knew that I had no say in their issues, but I still felt uneasy about them. While thinking so, I returned to my chambers.
いよいよ、明日は江戸への旅立ち。それにしても、母上は今夜も種目調が良いか。やれやれ、付き合わされている不破殿が不憫だな。
What?
今夜は暑いな。寝苦しくなければいいが。
She fell asleep already? How does she do that? I need that power. How did she do that? Come on! She finished the sentence and fell asleep. How?
誰か部屋に入ってきた。
No, she did not fall asleep after all.
母上？
なんじゃ、もう寝ておったか。それもそうじゃな。明日は旅立ちの日じゃものな。夜だというのに今夜も暑いな。いよいよ明日旅立つのじゃな。そんな旅立ちの前の日だというのに遊びほうける母親か。それにしても月日が経つのは早いものじゃ。ついこの間まで小さな体で屋敷を走り回っていたお前が元服する身とは。
母上、松之丞は殿に何かいけないことを申しましたか？
いけないことは申してないが、馬を欲しがるとは思わなかったぞ。
ですが、殿や母上に万一のことがあった時、馬がなかったら駆けつけられません。
確かにそうじゃな。
母上、松之丞は大きくなったら立派な家老になりますからね。
うん、その日が来ること楽しみに待っておるぞ。
あの時のこと、昨日のことのように覚えておる。チカラ、お前は昔から学問好き、剣の稽古も熱心で本当に手のかからぬ子じゃった。そんなお前を周囲は私などはるかに超える名家老になると噂しておったな。その噂を聞き、正直私も鼻が高かったのだぞ。じゃが家老の娘ということで他の家臣が遠慮したり取り入ろうとする者がいたりして、なかなか他人に心を開けぬことも分かっておった。だからお前は他の誰かと一緒にいるよりも一人でいる方が好きであったよな。根がまっすぐで正直者のお前じゃ他人の醜い部分に接することが嫌であったのだろう。その部分はみちみち私が教えてゆけばよいと思っておった。じゃが それも夢のまた夢になってしまったな。チカラ。私は、本気でお前を仇討ちに参加させたくはなかった。いくら亡き殿の汚名を晴らすためとはいえ、まだ先のあるお前に、命をかけさせる。そんな残酷なことを命じたくなかったのじゃ。あの世にいる殿も、このことを知ったら、きっとお止めになるに違いない。じゃが、それでも頑なに、お前は仇討ちに参加したいと私に申してきた。それだけじゃない。同志の皆を安心させるため、私の面目を保つため、自ら江戸に下るとまで言い出しおって、まったく誰に似たのか。まあ、間違いなく私には似てないの。子は勝手に育つと申すが。力？私は、お前のその成長を喜んでよいのじゃろうか。どうしても、私はお前の成長を手放しでは喜べんのじゃ。この成長を喜ばぬなど、母親失格じゃな。力、すまぬな。本当なら母親として、もっと多くのことを教えてやらねばならぬのに。他人から言わせれば、親は子に一生添うことはできないと申すかもしれない。じゃが、お前には、生きる希望、女としての幸せを知ってほしかった。それなのに、私はお前に、戦いと死しか教えることができぬ。そんな不甲斐ない母を許してくれ。それでも、私はお前を、誰よりも愛しておる。力、お前は、私の宝じゃぞ。
母上。
Someone was eavesdropping. Fuva, stop your weeping. Keep the racket down.
うるせえな。お前だって泣いてるじゃねえかよ。
I know! I'm not crying, I just get a bug in my eye! Fuva and I were sobbing uncontrollably while looking into Chikara's room. That was because I was still feeling uneasy, so I was trying to have a word with the Chamberlain after she came back home. Fuva grabbed me and dragged me away before I could say anything, and that was when I saw this scene. Chamberlain, you were very concerned with Chikara, I can imagine. But of course, the Chamberlain was the supreme leader of this vendetta, but even before that she was the mother of a child named Chikara. Where in the world were their mothers who did not mourn their separation from their children? Even though they were leaders of vendettas or head chamberlains of a clan, the bond between parents and their children could not be explained by logic, and was not that simple. I felt relief and at the same time immensely moved when I understood all this. And after that, the Chamberlain stopped talking and was gently fanning the sleeping Chikara with a paper fan. That sight. It looked like she was trying to sear her beloved daughter's image one last time in her mind. And it might have been a trick of the light, but it seemed Chikara's back was shaking slightly. Maybe. It was just my mistake. The Chamberlain mentioned that Chikara was a strong and honest girl. And also that she was a worthless mother to her. That is not true. Chikara grew up to be strong and honest because of her mother, the Chamberlain. It is their parents that are the closest adults to a child. Children who have respect for their parents grow up to be genuine and honest. Chikara, you are beloved than anyone else by your mother, the Chamberlain. You are very lucky, Chikara. Did you know that? Maybe. September 19th. Genroku 15, September 19th. Yes. Oishi Chikara departure to Edo. This day she departed for Edo in order to restrain her comrades and to maintain the dignity of her mother, the leader of this vendetta, and moreover to seek revenge for her late lord. The youngest samurai in the Ronins will arrive at Edo. However, her send-out was not a jolly affair.
それでは行ってまいります。
はい。
Where's the Chamberlain?
まだお眠りになってるようです。
Of course. I see.
まったく母上お寝坊さんですね。
どうします？無理やりにでも起こしてきましょうか？
いえ、それには及びません。どうせ江戸で会うのですから。それよりも不破殿、母上のこと何卒よろしくお願いいたします。
承知しました。どうかご安心を。それと力殿、今日から力殿は同志以外の前では柿見早苗と名乗ってください。
I remember using that name before. I mean, Chikara using that name.
柿見早苗?
Chikara, this is an alias. Remember the Chamberlain telling us at the Maruyama meeting?
ああ、なるほど。柿見早苗が私の変名なのですね。わかりました。大石力もとい柿見早苗。今より江戸に下ります。
But Chikara, are you sure you can manage with so little baggage?
はい。刀さえあれば、あとはこの身だけで十分です。それに、母上の言葉が、私にとって重い荷物ですから。
I see.
それでは、菅葉殿、参りましょうか。
Yeah.
菅葉、力殿を頼んだぞ。
Yep. Of course.
ご冗談。もう出てきてもいいですよ。
なんじゃ、気づいておったのか。
Yep.
まったく、死後ではないのですから。でも、誠に見送らなくてよかったのですか？
別れはゆうべ済ませたからな。さーて、和右衛門。二人になったことだし、花札でもするとしようかな。
またですか？俺もう銭がないですよ。
案ずるな。たっぷりと利子をつけて貸し付けてやる。よし、和右衛門の身ぐるみ剥がすとするかのう。
お助けを。
Of course.
どうしたのですか？先ほどから全然口を開かないですね。
Oh, I seem to be a bit nervous.
緊張ですか？
This trip will be a very significant one, more than you can imagine. There must not be any harm to you all on the road to Edo, and also, we must not have any unmeaningful squabbles with strangers. I think in that sense this will be a long journey. I remember the time before last, when Chikara came to Edo.
我らは今、大事を控えている身である。道中そなたらが赤穂のものだと知ったら、喧嘩を売ってくる者がいるかもしれぬ。だが、決して挑発に乗るでないぞ。
なるほど。母上がそのようなことを。
Your departure to Edo is strictly confidential. You mustn't draw attention to yourself, understood?
わかりました。お任せは。
綺麗なお侍様だ。
I said to not draw attention.
どうした？
雲食べる？
I told you don't draw attention to yourself! Good grief. This trip's going to be a tough one. For sure.
菅原殿、今日は順調に距離が稼げましたね。
Yeah, we did. But Tokaido Road has a lot of difficult points, so we mustn't let our guard down. Lest? What the hell? Least probably, we will be delaying our arrival at Edo. Let's go on with the pace like today. But you must be tired. Go on, take a bath.
あ、はい。お風呂上がりました。あれ？スゴハ殿？もう寝てる。そうですよね。旅の初日だからお疲れになったのですよね。大丈夫。まだ江戸到着まで10日以上ある。
This again.
明日から勝負よ。討ち入りの計画を私が立てたことに？
To be exact, I want you to be the one who thought up of this retaliation idea and I filled in the details. The next day, I told Chikara details of the retaliation plan. The previous time and the time before it, I was the one who drew up the plans. However, this time that would not be the case.
それは構いませんが、なぜスガハ殿が立てたということにしないのです？
Well, people will get suspicious if I say I thought it up all by myself. Vendettas are not made by whim, but need meticulous planning. The previous time and the one before that, the Chamberlain appointed me, so there was no problem. But this time it is different. You can say you thought of it when you were on your way to Edo. The idea itself is good, so I think the Chamberlain will not object.
なるほど。では、計画は私が書き記しますから、詳細な中身を教えていただけますか？
Of course. Chikara, while listening to my plans, was nodding convincingly. However, her expression clouded over once I reached a certain topic.
やはり、キラとその家臣全員が呪いにかかっているというのが危惧するところですね。
What? The time before last, the only person cursed was Kira, but the last time, it was Kira and his whole clan. So maybe, oh crap, if I go even further with that, maybe the whole town will be cursed or something. Nah, I think we should consider Kira's cursed in the list.
そのことを同志の方には伝えなくてよろしいのですか？
Well, I don't know if they will believe us if we do, and I don't want to cause any unwanted problems. I think we should tell the Chamberlain casually just before the vendetta. And the Chamberlain and Chikara were the captains of the main and back gates. It would make a big difference if those two knew the truth. But I haven't told Chikara that she will be the captain of the back gate yet. A curse! Shinpachi! Will she be there in Kira's mansion all the time of our vendetta? The previous time and the time before last I didn't sense her being there. That she might have been joining in the battle without me knowing. Then maybe this time, her strength surpasses all of our comrades and will become a grave threat. If Shinpachi stands in the way of the Ronin, then I'll have to.
スガハ殿？
Huh? It's nothing. So, let's move on, shall we?
はい。スガハ殿、なぜ柳沢義康は上野之助に呪いなどかけたのでしょう？
I don't know. Because they are weird? Oh, that. According to the Chamberlain, the shogunate was after Akko's salt.
アコの塩？
Yeah, the shogunate, although financially crippled, wanted to stock up on salt for military purposes. They are even imposing taxes on hand-drawn cards. So they hatched up a plan to take over Akko's salt and use it freely.
では、上野之助はその陰謀に利用されたと。
I don't know for sure. Kira might have been somewhat involved in that conspiracy, we never know.
確かに昔、アコの精鋭法を盗みに領内に入ったキラ家の患者を捕まえたという噂があったようです。
Chikara, when I heard the Chamberlain had a meeting with Yanagisawa and Yoshiyasu with hairstyle in Edo, I think she might have hinted at in their conversation. I was like, I know what you're up to or something like that.
母上が？
I just don't think she met with him just to appeal for the Asano family's revival. On top of that, it's outright absurd that she would ask for a recommendation of a samurai service.
そうですね。私も今思うと、母上がそのような軽挙なことをするとは思いません。ならば、母上は義康と面会してそのことを。
I suppose she hid a threat towards Yanagisawa's conspiracy if the revival of the Asano family falls short. We'll seek revenge on the Kira family. We've managed to stay at our scheduled inn today as well.
そうですね。
Today's journey was a satisfactory one. I hope we can get to Edo at this pace. Chikara, why don't you take a bath?
今日はすぐほどが先にお入りになってください。
Well, I don't mind going afterwards.
いえ、ぜひすぐほどのが先に。
Well, if you say so.
はい、ごゆっくりお任せを。
Suspicious. Highly suspicious. It took some time. I was asking the innkeeper about the security levels on the checkpoints we'll go through after tomorrow. But it does not seem to be a problem to have Chikara with me when passing by checkpoints other than Inre and Hakone. Chikara, sorry to keep you waiting, you should go and... And... oh, she's asleep. Chikara was fast asleep when I entered the room. Well, of course she would be tired from walking over Tenri every day. Ri is an old Japanese system on how to measure distances. 10 Ri would be approximately 40 kilometers a day. 40 kilometers in a day. Well, not bad. We had to walk all this distance from early morning to dusk. Even people in the Edo period, who were used to walking long distances, would be very tired. My feet were aging from the pain. She looks so peaceful in her sleep. Well, I think I'll go to sleep too. Chikara, good night. Alright, let's end the episode here and we'll continue with the story in the next one. So yeah, we'll continue this journey, get to Edo and we'll see what's going on. Hope you enjoyed it and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.